Seniors, my name is Randy Beardsley, and today I'd like to spend a few minutes with you to show you how you can help the people in your life that you love most, your family. Now let me give you a brief introduction. I'm a veteran that served our country in the Army for 6 years. I have a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering and a master's degree in business. And I spent the last 35 years working hard to support my family. I'm no politician. I've held real jobs with real responsibilities my whole life. I understand how things work and what it takes to be successful. And I saw several years back that our country wasn't working right anymore. It was broken. So much so that even though I'm just a regular working American, I couldn't be silent anymore. And I began to speak out on behalf of all our futures. But many people, especially many seniors, they don't see the danger because on the average, older Americans, mostly out of habit, they still rely on the nightly news as their main source of information. But this small group of news outlets, they aren't dedicated to your family's future, but rather they're dedicated to scaring and manipulating you to support policies that are bad for you and your family. Paul, in his letter to the Romans, he warned you about people like this. He said by their fine words and flattering speech, they deceive innocent people. And this is exactly what the media will do to you if you let them. Take, for example, your Social Security benefits. The Social Security Trust Fund is due to go bankrupt in about 10 years. Take a look at this graph that was prepared by the Social Security Administration. And it shows that the trust fund will go broke by 2036. When it does go bankrupt, expect at least a 30% cut in benefits. But did you know the trillions of dollars that are shown here in the trust fund, they don't even exist. This money's been loaned to the general tax fund and already spent by our government on welfare and foreign wars. In place of this money is an IOU. So unless the government somehow pays that money back, and I'm not optimistic about that, the Social Security Trust Fund will be depleted even sooner. But because you've been listening to the media and voting for the people they've told you to vote for, you've been fooled into supporting the loss of your Social Security benefits and your future. But the collapse of the Social Security system is just one of countless problems hidden from you. You've been told every night on TV that we're winning, but I competed a lot in my day, and this, my friends, is losing. You and your family are losing everywhere. Lost rights, lost jobs, lost safety, lost opportunity. We spend more on welfare, over $1 trillion, than we do on Social Security. And look how it's increased compared to our population. 6 million of our manufacturing jobs have been sold off to foreign countries in just the last 30 years. And this loss of jobs has led to an almost $1 trillion trade deficit. There was zero for years. And it's made your family beholden to foreign governments for life's basic needs. And someone in your family is sure to have suffered due to the loss or maiming of millions of our loved ones due to our government's endless war for profit scheme that for over 100 years now has sacrificed your money and your family's lives for their financial gain. These failures are so expensive that in spite of the high taxes we pay already, our national debt has had to increase about 12,000% since 1960, and it's now $34 trillion. Debt you're forcing your children to pay. Are you worried about the safety of your family? You should be, because there are now over 1 million violent crimes and over 7 million property crimes in our country every year. You and your family become the victim as a result of their failed soft-on-crime approach that prioritizes the rights and feelings of criminals over yours and your families. And our misguided open border policy has allowed over 50 million migrants to come into our country over the last 50 years, as well as tons of deadly drugs that now kill over 100,000 people in our country every year. Trust me, this is losing. The point is, you don't want to hurt your family anymore by supporting these policies and the people who promote them. Supporting these policies makes you an enforcer, and that's bad for your loved ones' futures. An enforcer is a person who, through ignorance, coercion, or betrayal, supports the destruction of their family's future and our country's future. Our enemies, they derive their power by using regular Americans as enforcers against us. And they want to enlist you as one of their enforcers also. When they fool you with the propaganda they show you on TV to support these flawed candidates in the destructive policies they promote, you act as an enforcer. But some people, they aren't fooled to become an enforcer. They make a conscious choice to become one. Like Judas betraying Jesus, they make a deal with the devil and they agree to promote these failed policies for a bag of gold. But don't make that deal. And lastly, lots of senior citizens are bullied into acting as an enforcer. Even though these policies don't make any sense, they threaten you with the loss of your benefits or the loss of your life if you don't vote their way and support these policies. But supporting these policies will ensure that you lose your benefits and your family's future. If you're a senior citizen that's been tricked or bullied into supporting these failed policies that are hurting your family, your loved ones and we don't want you to be an enforcer anymore. And contrary to what you may have been told, you're not too old to help your family. You're not too weak to fight for them. It's actually the exact opposite. You're part of a 60 million strong army of senior Americans that care about their families and our country. Your vote alone can change the outcome of your children's future. And you can do a lot more than just vote. If we can get all 60 million senior citizens to reject these failed candidates and their failed policies, and instead get them committed to a better way, we can create the future that our families deserve. And there is a better way. That better way is the Beardsley Doctrine. The Beardsley Doctrine will provide you with the plan you need to put your family and our country first again. The doctrine itself outlines what needs done by identifying 20 key beliefs and policies that must be implemented to save our country. In one of the articles, Article 4, it addresses our Social Security system. If you don't want to take a 30% benefit cut, take a look at how the doctrine will help you and your family. The American Death March series and the 50 Years of Failure series will give you a better understanding of how these dangerous policies, they were slowly implemented while we were busy working and taking care of our family. And they explain why we need to implement the policies of the doctrine. They'll show you why continuing on the current path, it just isn't an option. And the press plan is an action plan that you have to participate in if you want to help yourself and your family. And a part of the press plan will help you stop being an enforcer by guiding you through all the ways where you may be acting as one, you didn't even know it. It doesn't matter how old you are. You can participate in the press plan. Simple things like passing this on to friends and family will make a difference. But you can do a lot more than that. Because a lot of things you can do without even ever leaving the house. And none of them require you to ride in the streets. If you're not at my website, beardsleydoctrine.com, go there now and take a look around at the components of the doctrine to see how you can use them, starting today, to make a difference to help create the future that your family deserves. And don't forget to stay up to date on how you can continue to help your family by following me on X. Now, at this point in your lives, I know you've already done a lot for your family and our country. And yet, after all that work, I ask you to join me today to do even more, because we have to stop the death march that they've set our families on. And with your help, we can stop it. So let's work together for a better way for our families. When we do, we'll make our future a lot brighter.